Leave no trace principles. What are they and why are they important? These principles are vital for preserving the ecosystem, the environment, and nature in general. A lot of people aren't familiar with these principles, and they can do a lot of harm to the environment without even realizing it. The first of these 7 principles is plan ahead and prepare. Make sure you're familiar with the area you're going to, the weather conditions if there's any extreme weather. Bring a map or compass with you, and if possible, go in a small group. Scheduling your trip is also a good tip for especially avoiding crowds. The second principle is traveling and camping on durable surfaces. When camping, it's always best to camp in established sites, and especially on durable surfaces like big rocks or packed down earth. This will keep things safe for you as well as the environment. It's also important to camp about 200 feet away from streams or other bodies of water. The third principle is getting rid of waste. This is a big one for most people. If you go to any substantially popular park or other nature area, you'll most likely find a lot of trash lying around. Bottles, plastic containers, paper, just lots of junk. This is exactly what you want to avoid if you're interested in the leave no trace principles. Trash is obviously harmful to the environment in a great variety of ways. The best way to avoid this is by taking your trash with you. There are usually garbage cans in most parks, state and national parks especially. If you can't find a garbage can, make sure you have a little bag for yourself, and when you're done using certain items, just put them in your bag and take them away with you when you leave. The next principle is leave what you find. There are obviously many interesting things that you can find in parks. There are rocks, possibly artifacts, a lot of interesting things, but it's best to not take them with you. This will help preserve the current state of the environment. The next principle involves campfire etiquette. Campfires, of course, are a major part of camping, but it is important to follow certain rules when you do make campfires. You always want to make sure that the fire is contained in a ring. When collecting kindling, make sure you collect it from the ground and don't chop down any trees. And when you're done with the campfire, make sure that everything in the fire pit is burned to ash. This is very important for minimizing the risk of runaway fires. The next principle is, of course, respect the wildlife. Throughout the United States, there's all kinds of wildlife that you can encounter. In all cases, whether the animals are potentially dangerous or just small creatures, it is important to keep your distance and not disturb them, and especially don't feed them. Feeding wild animals can make them dependent on humans, and that can make it very difficult or impossible for them to survive in the wild. Sometimes, if an animal becomes too habituated to relying on humans, the animal does have to be euthanized. Also, when you bring pets with you, it's also important to keep them controlled at all times. That usually means keeping them on a leash and preventing them from ripping up the environment. The last and arguably most important principle is being considerate to other visitors. Of course, public parks are a great attraction to many, many people, and the last thing you want to do is intrude upon other people. Try to avoid being loud or obnoxious. Yield to other hikers on trails, and when it's time to camp or take breaks, give other people space and find your own little secluded area. So those are the main principles for leave no trace ethics. These principles are not only helpful to you, but also to other people and, of course, the wildlife. If you enjoyed this video and look forward to more, I will post more videos throughout the week on this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well.